Hello everyone, welcome to Very Cold Lasagna, and welcome to this very special video I like to call the state of the fridge. Why is it called the state of the fridge? Well, because we gotta address some things. We gotta address some changes that obviously you're seeing right now. You saw in the very start of the video, and you're probably seeing all throughout the YouTube channel, the audio page, the podcast version of Very Cold Lasagna, the Twitter, the Instagram, what have you. There are a lot of changes happening here on Very Cold Lasagna, and there's a lot of planning and updates that I wanted to discuss here in this video, and also talk about some highlights from the first 6 months of Very Cold Lasagna, because as of today we have hit 6 months since Very Cold Lasagna first started back on January. And that's the first thing I want to address. I really want to thank each and every one of you, even if it's very few of you. I know it's very few, but I'm still very grateful for the people that are listening to me, subscribed, whether it's on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to Very Cold Lasagna. As we're going through these first 6 months, I appreciate the support. I really love doing this. Honestly, starting a new adventure like podcasting, it's crazy. It is very crazy, and where we're at now, it's even crazier that we got to this point. And I'm really appreciative of all the listeners, all the comments, all the feedback, and I love responding to them, even if I don't know what to say, or I don't know a lot of the things that the comments leave. I do my best to respond to them. I honestly do my best, and I want to continue to keep the train rolling. So let's keep it rolling. Thank you all for support, and that being said, let's get into this state of the fridge. And obviously, as you can tell by the intro, by this new layout, we got a new logo. We have a new logo. This has been in the works since April. Literally 3 months ago, I was kind of wondering, should I make a new logo for the podcast? And I was dabbling around in Photoshop, and this is the logo that came about, and it evolved eventually, and I finalized it a few weeks ago, and bam, here it is. This is the logo that best represents the podcast. The initial logo that I thought of when we first started, the one that we started back in January up until episode 30, it still holds a special place in my heart. But at some point, we gotta go bolder. We gotta make the brand look super fresh. And I'm not saying that the new logo isn't super fresh, but this new one, it'll help us well. It will really help us well, and hopefully you guys will like it. And speaking of the new intro, that will be the intro for the podcast, and that intro will be exclusive to the YouTube version of the podcast. So sorry for the audio people that won't get to see the fridge closing in on the new Very Cold Lasagna intro. I honestly want to implement a fridge in the video version of the podcast since, well, it started. You know how I always say, open up that fridge and grab that Very Cold Lasagna? That was literally like my vision of trying to make an intro. But I obviously didn't have like any lasagna around. So the best thing was to record me closing the fridge, and there it was. So that is the new intro that's going to be used going forward on the YouTube side of things. The audio side of things, you'll still have to hear the da-da-da-da. So I apologize for that, but if you want that juicy extra content that you see in the video version, there you'll have the new intro. Then obviously, as you see on my screen, as you see here, we got a new layout. We have a new layout And as you can see by the color scheme, it's all different. And with this new layout, this new podcast layout, I'm trying to make things a little more like simplistic, not too like spacey. I don't know if you could tell by before. I think I made things too cluttered. One thing would be in one corner, the other thing would be another corner, then this would be another corner, and this would be another corner. With this new layout, it'd make things a little more simplistic. Like, as you can tell on this side, you have where you can listen to the podcast. And I think at this point, you should know how to listen to the podcast or any podcast in general. I hope so. And then here on this side, I made the topic bar a little bit smaller, so it won't be as much of it in the way as possible. And obviously, I'm not pointing in the right direction, but right there is the logo. So you got a lot of more open space, a lot more visual space, so you won't see as much clutter, as much words on the screen. And I know a lot of people don't like that visually. So there you go. I honestly prefer this style than what I did before. So some new visual changes, and hopefully I can find a way to implement some more presentational style changes, like from myself, the person, as we continue to go forward. Now let's talk about some highlights from the first 6 months. Obviously, I want to again thank you for all the support, for everyone that listened to the podcast. I'm not really much of an analytics kind of guy, but we had over 400 people listen to the podcast on the Anchor side of things. So I thank you all to the people that listen to me on the podcast side of things. And YouTube has been picking up lately. It's been picking up on the YouTube side of things. We're at 9 subscribers again. It's better than it was when we first started, like a couple months ago. So definitely a lot better. And what matters to me more now than ever on YouTube is the viewer to sub ratio. In other words, if you want your subscribers to matter, you also have to have the viewership match up with it. So it's kind of like a two-way street. You want your viewerships and subscribers to both equally match with each other. So it's been on the up and up. So let's say we have 9 subscribers and then 4 views. So it's getting there. It is getting there. So I thank you for the support either way on both sides of the equation here. And as for the content has been pretty good. Even in dry periods where it's hard to come up with ideas, especially when wrestling sucks and the NFL is still in the off season. And honestly, I'm not much of an expert when it comes to other sports. And I'm actually the biggest casual when it comes to, other sports like basketball, the Olympics, hockey, soccer. I still try to find a way to talk about wrestling. Now, sure, like, I don't try to go to extreme lengths to be like a First Take 2.0 where I try to revolve subjects like freaking talking about what did LeBron James have for dinner or something, or like how does X or Y affect LeBron James's legacy or Steph Curry's legacy or like that. But I try to do my best to make topics for all my people that are casuals just like me interesting. And if I'm not doing a good job at that, I would definitely appreciate the feedback so I can improve on it. So I'm glad that I was able to overcome that hurdle. And obviously by the content that I made with the retro reviews that I did in the form of the old Icebox series, the NFL draft coverage I had back in April, the AEW WWE pay-per-view reviews, and honestly all these hot take podcasts on wrestling where I talked about Monday Night Raw, talked about the themed pay-per-views just recently. I honestly, like, these are just like podcast ideas that are just like, I gotta do an episode on this. It's like, it's just the thing I got to rant about. And, you know, obviously when I need to take a break, like I take a break when I need it. Like when there's honestly just absolutely nothing to talk about, I have nothing on my mind, I take a break. But lately there's been a lot on my mind when it comes to wrestling, so I just keep the ideas flowing. I just let it all out there. But I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty stoked and happy with what we have going so far, especially in this first 6 months. And I like the content that we provided, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't caught up on it yet, I would definitely recommend doing so, because the next 6 months, it's already looking bright. It's honestly looking forward to it. The NFL is coming back in September, regular season wise. Preseason is next month, but I mean, obviously, like, not everyone cares about the preseason, and I know people that are casuals like you and me don't care about it as much. But with the return of the NFL in September, I am getting ready. I'm getting geared to not only cover my San Francisco 49ers each and every week, and hopefully I can keep up with it, especially, you know, obviously I have a part-time job outside of this. I hope I can keep up with both the 49ers and the rest of the NFL, because honestly, I did this last year, not on the podcast when Very Cold Lasagna didn't exist yet, but I was trying to like watch each and every game, and I wouldn't say it's hard, but when you have multiple games on like multiple monitors, it gets very taxing. But I'm looking forward to the challenge. I'm really looking forward to the challenge. And, you know, if something doesn't work, it's always looking forward to something new, or I'm looking forward to changing my approach if it doesn't work out. And I will obviously still talk about wrestling on Very Cold Lasagna, whether through its podcasts or, you know, little snippets on the YouTube channel, because there's still SummerSlam and AEW All Out before the NFL season starts. And obviously, like with SummerSlam coming up, I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. So be on the lookout for that. But after the NFL season starts, honestly, I don't know where we're going to go there for wrestling. And I know a lot of people that are sub to this channel and that viewed this podcast watch it and listen to it for the wrestling content. But don't worry, I'm not getting rid of it entirely. I know people like the wrestling stuff. It's just like right now the NFL will just be a bigger priority once September rolls around. And I might try. It's not a guarantee, like the Charles Barkley guarantee. I may try to look into like talking about other sports besides the NFL and the WWE and AEW. I was thinking of trying to talk about hockey, but it depends if I can actually get into it, because, well, the NHL is coming to ESPN and TNT in the fall, and honestly, that's like the biggest exposure the NHL has had in like forever. So maybe it gives me an opportunity to actually like try to be interested in it. So who knows? Maybe like we could talk about some other sports here on the channel. And honestly, where things are going here on Very Cold Lasagna, like we obviously have the podcast, we have other things planned for it. I'm pretty excited for what's in store for the rest of the year, and I hope you guys are too. I also hope you guys are happy with the new look, the new changes visually. Obviously, there's still a lot of things that can be done. Still a lot of things that can be improved. Both like quality wise, like quality control. Like you need to work on your speech and stuff. Like obviously those are things I can improve on. And if you guys have any suggestions for me to improve the podcast outside of logo changes, layout changes, episode ideas, or like theme ideas, let me know in the comments, or like shoot me a message on Instagram or Twitter or anywhere, because I'm open to ideas, and I know I don't take them all, but it helps me improve now, as a person and as a content creator. So I'm open to ideas, and that's pretty much all I got. But that is it for this state of the fridge, this state of the Very Cold Lasagna fridge. I honestly don't want to know what it is at this point, but yeah, that is the state of the fridge, July 2021. And yeah, I'm just pretty excited for the rest of this year, especially with the podcast when we start talking about the NFL. But that is it for this video. I hope you guys were informed, took away something from it, and I hope you guys like the new look. And let me know what you guys think. Anyway, everyone, as always, keep that lasagna very cold in the fridge with your take on the world of wrestling and sports very cold. And until next time, peace out.